Have you ever been reading something, found this absolutely brilliant idea, and thought, how do I get this into my own work without just, stealing it? Well, that's exactly what we're going to tackle today. We are breaking down the two most important tools every writer has: paraphrasing and quoting. By the end of this, you'll know how to build some seriously powerful arguments with total confidence. So, this is it. This is the big question, right? How do you lean on an expert's genius to make your own point stronger, but without crossing that line into plagiarism? Nailing this is what really separates good writing from truly great writing. And don't worry, you're about to learn exactly how to do it. And look, this isn't just about avoiding trouble or, following some stuffy academic rules. Getting this right is what gives your writing its power, its authority. It's how you show your reader, hey, I've done my homework and I can build a case that's actually worth listening to. Okay, let's just get one thing crystal clear right now. Using sources is not about copying and pasting, not at all. Think of yourself as an architect. The sources, they're your building blocks, the bricks, the steel. But you're the one designing the building. You're using their materials to construct your argument. They're there to support you, not to speak for you. And to build that argument, you've basically got two main tools in your toolbox. On one side, you have the paraphrase. That's where you put an author's idea into your own words. On the other side, you have the quote, where you use their exact words for maximum impact. The real secret? It's knowing which tool to use and when. Let's kick things off with your go-to tool, the one you'll be using most of the time, the paraphrase. Honestly, this should be your default setting. Whenever you need to bring in an idea from a source, your first instinct should be to paraphrase it. So what even is a paraphrase? Well, it's the art of taking someone else's idea and completely rebuilding it using your own unique style. And that means two things: using your own vocabulary and, this part's super important, using your own sentence structure. You're basically a translator, making sure the original idea fits perfectly and smoothly into your own writing. You know what? This says it all. If you only remember one thing about paraphrasing, make it this. It's the author's idea, but they are absolutely your words. That's the heart of it, right there. So when should you be paraphrasing? Pretty much all the time. You'll use it to sum up an author's main point, to pull in a specific fact or a piece of data, or even to just break down a really complex idea so it's easier for your reader to get. The real beauty of it is that it keeps your writing sounding like, well, you. It keeps the flow smooth and in your own voice. Want to write a perfect paraphrase every time? Here's a foolproof 6-step plan. 1. Read the original passage until you get it. I mean, really get it. 2, and this is the magic step, look away from the source. Seriously, turn your head, close the book, whatever. Don't peek. 3, write out the idea in your own words. 4, now you can look back. Compare your version to the original. Did you change both the words and the sentence structure? 5, is the meaning exactly the same? Perfect. And the final can't forget it step, add that citation. Okay, so we've got our default tool covered. Now let's talk about the special tool. If a paraphrase is your everyday hammer, a direct quote is like your precision laser. You don't use it for everything, just for those moments that demand absolute accuracy and impact. A quote is, well, it's exactly what you think it is. You're lifting the author's language, word for word, comma for comma, and dropping it directly into your text, all wrapped up nicely inside a pair of quotation marks. No changes, no tweaks. It's the real deal. I absolutely love this analogy. Think of quotes as a really strong spice, like cayenne pepper. A little sprinkle adds a fantastic kick and makes your food so much more interesting. But if you dump the whole bottle in, you've just ruined the entire dish. Your argument is the main meal. Quotes are just there to make it better. So when do you reach for that spice? You use a quote when the author's original wording is just so powerful, so perfect, or so memorable that changing a single word would ruin it. Or you use a quote when the specific words they chose are the very thing you need to analyze. Basically, if paraphrasing would lose the magic, it's time to quote. So how do you use a quote the right way? First, be picky, incredibly picky. Remember, less is more. Keep it short and sweet. Always, always, always introduce it with a signal phrase. You can't just drop it in out of nowhere. And then, and this is the most important part, after you give the quote, you have to explain why it's there. You have to tell your reader how that quote helps prove the point you're trying to make. All right, it is time for the main event. Let's put these two tools side by side for a final showdown. This should make the choice between them feel totally natural from now on.
This chart just breaks it all down, plain and simple. Let's look. The paraphrase, that's the author's ideas in your words. You're going to use it most of the time, frequently. It's your workhorse. Then there's the quote. That's the author's exact words. You only use that when the words themselves are powerful, and you're going to do it sparingly. See? It really is that simple.
Okay, so you know what the tools are, you know when to use them. Let's wrap up by talking about how to really master them, how to blend them into your writing so smoothly that your work is elevated to a whole new level.
This is it. This is the golden rule, the #1 rule of using sources. You can never just drop a quote or a paraphrase into your paragraph without any introduction. That's called a dropped quote. And for your reader, it feels like hitting a massive pothole in the middle of the road. It's jarring. You always need to build a little on-ramp for it with a signal phrase that tells us who's about to speak.
And for the love of all that is good, please try to use verbs other than says. When your paper is just Smith says this and Jones says that, it sounds like a broken record. Think about what the author is actually doing with their words. Are they arguing a point? Are they insisting on something? Suggesting an idea? Using a precise verb like contends or points out makes your writing so much more sophisticated. You know, in the end, it really all comes down to balance. Your sources are the supporting cast. They are essential, they give you evidence, they make you credible, but you, your voice and your argument, you are the star of the show. Your ideas have to be front and center, just made stronger and more convincing by the expert backup you've brought in.
So I'll leave you with one last question to ask yourself next time you're writing. Just take a look at your work and be honest. Are your sources supporting your voice, or are they silencing it? Are they the foundation you're building on, or have they accidentally become the entire building? The answer to that question will tell you everything you need to know.